The Matrix, a groundbreaking film that is arguably one of the most influential movies in sci-fi and action. Released March 31st, 1999, it is in its 20th anniversary this year, and as such is being shown in select theatres to celebrate. Having missed out on watching this modern classic the first time around, I took the opportunity to attend one of these screenings at my local Vue cinema, and I couldn't not write this retrospective review after that great experience. Written and directed by the Wachowskis, this film absolutely holds up, and upon watching it in a theatre where it was intended, it is a beautifully crafted film in so many ways. As a bit of background, the Wachowskis were able to bring The Matrix to life after they signed on to a deal that saw 3 of their original scripts purchased by Warner Bros. The head of production at the time, Lorenzo de Bonaventura, read another of their scripts called Assassins, which led to the deal taking place, and off the back of their critical success, Bound, the Wachowskis approached Warner Bros. With a request to develop The Matrix into the feature that it is. Early production saw Will Smith tapped for Neo, and interestingly, Val Kilmer as Morpheus. Will Smith has since admitted that he turned down the role, opting to go for Wild Wild West because he simply didn't understand the concept of The Matrix. A decision he no doubt holds some regret for, considering Wild Wild West was not exactly a smash hit. The Wachowskis managed to get a $60 million production budget for this venture, which, back in 1999, was a very sizable sum. However, if they were to flesh out this futuristic world with deep, thought-provoking concepts, it was an absolute must. Not to mention the special effects, which, having just rewatched it on the big screen, absolutely hold up, even by today's standards. As production began rolling around, the Wachowskis had enlisted a cast of Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne, Carrie-Anne Moss, Hugo Weaving and Joe Pantoliano for the main key roles. However, upon watching The Matrix last night, one thing struck me about the actors involved in the movie, is that all actors, key or supporting, are all very good. And I know this may sound like an obscure thing to reference in a retrospective, but it really isn't. Unfortunately today, I could, and you could also, pick out a handful of films that have great lead stars, but abysmal supporting cast, which only serves to lower the quality of the overall film. The Matrix is not like this in any way. The supporting cast are at least on par with the lead stars, some providing absolutely stellar performances that really are a standout. Take Marcus Chong, the man who played Tank, the operator in The Matrix. As he meets Neo and discusses the potential to come, this man puts in a performance that really is believable. Fantastic mannerisms, key emoting, inflection on words and cadence in line delivery was all absolutely incredible.
I'm not supposed to talk about this, but if you are, very exciting time. We got a lot to do. We gotta get to it. Now, I'm supposed to start with these operation programs first. That's major boring shit. Let's do something a little more fun. How about combat training? Jiu-jitsu. I'm going to learn jiu-jitsu.
Now, the same, sadly, cannot be said to today's blockbusters. A lot of the supporting cast absolutely lets down the leads, and this isn't merely a retrospective thought, seeing it through rose-tinted glasses. It absolutely is the case. Keanu Reeves puts in a great performance here as Neo. He is believable, and he is likeable with it. A fish out of water, searching for the answer to the question. What question? What is The Matrix? Now, Lawrence Fishburne is the man to answer this question. The most dangerous man alive, according to the nefarious Agent Smith. A man who is liberating humans from a machine-controlled program, The Matrix. A virtual reality that keeps them subdued as power sources for the machines in the real world. A mind-bending concept, but one that enabled the Wachowskis to explore 2 often many more, different realities and time periods. Now in cinema we have time travel, an overused trope by any stretch of the imagination. But by using a machine program, a virtual world which is explained to actually be a representation of the past, we can then experience the future, a form of time travel. This is without the same universe-breaking ramifications, and it is an incredibly fresh take. We see the future wasteland, we see the world as it is in their modern day, and we see the fields of human beings farmed for their energy. This is where we start to see the CGI, which I would argue genuinely holds up to today's standards. There are key reasons for this. They clearly spent time and care on it, but more importantly, their use of lighting was near perfect. The design of the machines as well, something that can be argued to be one of the elements to the success of the franchise. Squid-looking sentinels, an insectoid human farming machine, and of course, as we're talking about CGI, we cannot ignore the use of practical effects. This film has Neo waking, really waking, in a scene which can be described as body horror. A tank of thick, viscous gel-like substance, tubes and wires aplenty. It's this attention to detail on the design of these pods that really adds to the film's overall impact, something I'm sure you would agree with. Carrie-Anne Moss puts in a very good performance as Trinity, and the physicality that she brought to the screen was undeniable. All of the actors, in fact, due to the use of gung fu, really brought their A game. Something we just hadn't really seen before in this way. Pioneering bullet time and slow-mo, panning and sweeping camera angles, mid-air leaps and world-bending physics. All pioneered and things which really do stand the test of time, imitated often and never surpassed in quality and execution. But these are all things you undoubtedly know about the film. The cinematography, however, is something I really have to draw a light to. The Wachowskis' use of framing and camera angles, although admittedly very 90s, very bombastic at times, absolutely works. For the product and for the overall genre and the movie, something that holds up for sure. Take Morpheus meeting Neo, for instance, a scene where we finally meet the elusive man, the most dangerous man alive, a man these strangers would kill for, would die for. This is a scene that really has to have impact, otherwise we would be left feeling like it was all build up and no payoff. But boy is there payoff. The use of lightning in this scene, the slow mannerisms of Lawrence Fishburne, and the framing of the actor in the shot add to this prowess that this man is to be feared, to be respected, to be believed. Someone who is important and someone who means business. Paired with the mild manner in which Lawrence Fishburne speaks, we have a duality to this scene that is greatly appreciated. And the way all actors are dressed in the film is a notable design aesthetic that needs to be addressed and praised. It was very in keeping with the film's concept and added to it, without being cheesy and over the top to a negative. Was it over the top? Yes, but not to the detriment of the film. And one such costume design was Morpheus, the unique sunglasses he wears to the trench coat, which not only serve as one of the most iconic looks in modern cinema, but also are utilised in the shot to a high degree. As Morpheus sits Neo down and begins to discuss the Matrix, the answers to the questions, and hopefully setting him free, we see this conversation from two angles. One, Neo, sat in the armchair, intent, eager, filled with trepidation. And the second, from Morpheus, framed in his glasses, we see Neo. The scene shifts between the perspectives to a near perfect degree. I believe the reflection is practical up until a point, though that is absolutely my guess. However, the reflection being a key focus to the shot and seeing the pills being presented to Neo in that way adds to the intense nature of the scene, the gravity of what is about to happen, the opportunities that await Neo, and the potential outcome. It's this level of expert cinematography that made the film so iconic, paired with everything else of course. We also had an absolutely amazing soundtrack, from artists that most of a certain generation will recognise today. The Prodigy, Rage Against the Machine, Deftones, Rammstein, to name but a few. This all added to the film to accentuate scenes and add dramatic tension, or to build the world out for that particular scene. Like the nightclub, where Neo meets Trinity for the first time. We see this gritty, fetish-like club, with the unique Dragula by Rob Zombie in the background. In short, The Matrix is a staggering achievement, a high-concept sci-fi film that stands the test of time. Whether the sequels do or don't is absolutely up for debate, but The Matrix has earned its place in cinema history that is evidenced in how it is bled through and influenced so many other films thereafter. I hope you enjoyed this retrospective look at The Matrix, and if you did, don't forget to leave the video a like and please do share it. If you have anything further to add, please do leave them down below in the comment section, and as always, I have been Mr. H. Take care.